He's very tired. He made love to me all night.
You're listening to the Fun with Horror podcast with your hosts, Scotty and Andrew.
Hello, everybody. This is Scotty.
And this is Meka.
And welcome to episode 193 of Fun with Horror, the most wholesome horror movie podcast in the entire world. But of course, as you might know, Andrew is on his little baby break after having another baby.
Congratulations.
Andrew's got all the babies. Oh, thank you, Meka. And so I am joined once again by our very good friend, Meka G from Cinematic Nightmares. Applause.
Yay! Meka, you're so amazing.
Oh my God, it's so good to see your face.
It's good to see you too.
How is everything? How's Cinematic Nightmares been?
Honestly, Cinematic Nightmares, I've been calling it Cinematic Nightmares 2.0, has been so much fun. I totally revamped the podcast or, the channel, and I'm doing new things. I retired the top fives because honestly, I ran out of top fives to top five, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So now I'm doing Nightmares Untold, where I'm doing talking about behind the scene things for, some of our favorite movies that most people didn't know about. And then, oh my goodness, the other one is another Nightmares one, but it's basically, Raised by Nightmares. So talking about the movies that we all grew up with and how we collectively have been shaken as a generation.
That's awesome. I've seen that one and it's really good. Or I've seen the first one of those.
And then also Exploring the Shadows is it's still a monthly thing, but now it's live. That has been so much fun, doing a panel and having people come on and talk about it. And someone special was on the recent one.
Who?
Oh, you didn't know? It's this guy named Scotty.
Oh, damn.
He was on there.
Most people couldn't tell I was on there because I was so quiet.
But even when you did speak, you offered a lot to the conversation, especially because it was your first time seeing this movie.
Yeah, for sure. And you were a very, very good host.
Thank you.
So I was very impressed. I mean, I've seen you before, but to actually be there live while you're doing it, I was like, hell yeah, she's doing the thing.
I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. And now we're back and we've done 2 podcasts together. You've been on Fun with Horror twice now. And actually, it's not going to surprise you that much, but the Sinners episode that you did with Andrew and I is one of our most listened to episodes. So,
yay, me.
Once again, I'm going to say it's all because of you.
I appreciate it.
But of course, we have a movie to talk about today.
I used to be afraid of you, but I don't think I am anymore.
There's nothing to fear except God. Whatever that means to you.
For me, God is a disease.
Possession was released in France on May 27th, 1981. It was directed by Andrzej Żuławski. It was written by Andrzej Żuławski and Frederick Tutton. It stars Sam Neill as Mark, Isabelle Adjani as Anna and Helen, Heinz Bennett as Heinrich, and Margie Karstensen as Margie. So, Meka, this is amazing. So you sent me a text, I think it was yesterday, as you were starting to watch the movie. As listeners may know, I'm letting all of my guests pick the movie
Yes.
while Andrew is taking a break. So I let you pick a movie and you said Possession. So I went and I was like, great, I haven't seen it. And you said, I haven't seen it either. I ordered the 4K Blu-ray. And then yesterday you texted me and you said,
this isn't the movie that I thought it was.
what movie did you think you were picking?
It is actually, and it's crazy because the movie came out in 1981. It's called Possession. Sorry, it didn't come out in 81. It's called Possession, but there's more to it. It's like Possession. Now I can't even remember the name of the movie that I thought it was. But when I did watch the movie, I remember a particular scene from this movie was in a documentary, but I didn't know the movie was called Possession when I saw it. I just thought like, oh, I know a movie. Oh, Possession. And I don't know what I did.
But it wasn't the movie that we ended up watching.
No, it wasn't. Not at all. Not at all.
So having
it was called The Possession. That's what it was called. The Possession.
Okay. Because I think you even gave me a year and it was like an old year. So I was like, oh, there we go.
Yeah. It was Sam Raimi's The Possession.
I realized that we kind of dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
Because what if I had watched Possession and you went and watched this Sam Raimi's The Possession, and then we get to this recording and we're like, wait, we watched two different movies.
Right. Yeah.
Thank goodness you watched the one you didn't realize you picked.
Right. That's on me. But you know what? I'm glad we both got to see a movie that this is a first time watch for both of us.
Exactly. So, without spoilers, what did you think of Possession?
Okay. The best way that I can put it is that this is an art house horror movie because nothing makes sense. But however, the special effects in this is insane. I thought the story again was all over the place, but Sam Neill to me is a great actor. And so I just felt like I believed his character. I felt sorry for his character. This movie was heavy, but at the same time, it was kind of cringe too. But it was interesting. That's all I can say.
We definitely have some scenes to talk about. What did you like it or no? Like out of 5 stars, what would you give it?
I would definitely give it like maybe a 2 out of 5. Okay. And again, because we're going to talk about it. It is all over the place, and you're never really sure about what's happening because you'll be in one scene and then you'll just bounce to another one, and nothing really ever connected to the story in itself.
Well, let me just say that for me, this movie was work. The first time I watched it, I thought, this is kind of a boring movie. I knew about the movie and I knew about some very talked about scenes in the movie. I have to admit, it's 2 hours long and I was thinking, this is a long movie. And I was feeling the length, but there's so many people who champion this movie that talk so highly of it that I really worked hard to understand why people think it's a masterpiece. I watched a lot of a commentary that came on the Blu-ray. I watched behind the scenes. I read up on what people think the movie is really about. Mm-hmm. And then I watched it a second time, this time with subtitles on.
Yes.
Watching the subtitles and studying everything they were saying. I'm not going to give this a high score. I'm not going to say this is a movie I enjoy, but it definitely went a bit higher for me.
Okay, on the second watch.
Yeah, and I understand it more, and I understand what they were trying to get across with the movie. So, but we're gonna talk about that. It's gonna be interesting because, like I told you today, I'm very happy that you're doing this episode with me because I can see it from a male perspective, but I definitely want to hear some thoughts from a female perspective of this movie. So now, everybody, this is the time for our spoiler warning, and it's followed immediately by our trigger warnings. So if you haven't seen this movie and you don't want a single thing spoiled for you, this is the point of no return. Feel free to pause this episode and then come back after you've watched the movie. But before we talk about the rest of the movie, we want to let you know of any major trigger warnings inspired by the website doesthedogdie.com. So, I'm happy to report that, well, I'm not that happy. There is one dog in the movie. It's already dead. It's floating in water. So you don't see the dog die. It looks pretty real, so I'm not going to lie and say that it's not completely untriggering, you know?
Right.
But the other thing is that, okay, there's definitely some abuse in the movie. There's a lot of it.
Yes.
That's one trigger that I definitely think we should mention, right?
Yes. Yes, for sure.
Because there's a little bit of physical violence. There's a lot of self-harm and harm verbally to each other, the two main characters. And then, I gotta say, if you're triggered by tentacled sex or sex with a tentacled monster, there you go. So, I can't wait to ask you about that, because did you have any idea that was coming?
No, like, I was like, what are we doing here? Like, how did we get to this point?
Well, let's do the 3-minute recap. Let's try and recap this movie. We're going to do it together. I give our guests the choice instead of rolling a die. And I'm like, hey, Meka, do you want to do it, or do you want me to start it? And then I'll just ask you questions as I go along. And you chose the second choice.
I did.
So, here we go.
I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime.
Possession is basically about Mark and Anna. They are a couple, and they are breaking up. He's been away for a year, and it looks like he might be kind of a spy or something.
Yes.
When he comes home, they're breaking up, and they go through this breakup, and that's basically so much of the movie.
Yeah.
They're breaking up. They're going back and forth.
Arguing.
Arguing all the time, yelling at each other.
Hysterically yelling.
Hysterically. But the crux of everything is that he finds out that she's been cheating on him. And so he becomes obsessed with who this person is. Is it this Heinrich guy? And yes, she did cheat on him with Heinrich, but this is not what's happening. She's got her own apartment. She's neglecting their child. That's another aspect of this movie.
Yes.
They have a child.
Bob.
Bob. Yeah, so she's got this apartment, and he hires a private investigator. And Meka, the private investigator, follows her home. What does he find when he goes inside her place?
It's so hard to explain. It's just a blob of mass of meat with tentacles. It's hanging out in the corner, and he's like, what is that? And she's like, don't worry about it. Bing! Right across his head.
Yeah, she kills him with a broken bottle. And then, oh my God, what happens? There's also a teacher, Bob's teacher, who happens to look
like Anna.
Exactly.
She looks just, except she has green eyes. And so when Mark first meets her, he's like, are you playing a joke on me? And she's like, what are you talking about? My name is Helen. And he's like, oh, let me leave. Wait, what?
Oh, I like the way you explain it so much better. So then we find out that I guess the private detective's partner is his actual partner in real life, his lover.
Yes.
And so he goes to Anna's place. What happens to him?
He also meets his mate, his fate too as well. The way
he meets his maker.
meets his maker. Except he doesn't get stabbed. He gets shot repeatedly. So
yeah.
Anna was like, "Give me your gun." Like she takes his gun out. He's like, "Wait, like hold up, pop, 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 pop." And I was like, everybody that comes in contact with Anna ends up dead.
There's a possible reason for that I'll ask you in a bit. So then Heinrich is crazy.
Yes.
And Mark sends Heinrich over to her place And of course, the other thing about this creature is that every time we see the creature, it is changed. It's
evolved. Yes.
Exactly. Evolved is the perfect word. Heinrich goes there and he sees the creature and kind of goes almost insane. He goes mute. He can't talk.
Yes.
He can't see. No, he can't see.
He goes blind.
Blind, yeah.
And then he regains his sight and he was like, "What is that?" And she was like, "Don't worry about it." Dead.
And then what does he find in the refrigerator?
Oh, then he sees the body parts of the detective. His head is in the refrigerator and she's like, "Don't worry about it."
Don't worry about it. Well, she stabs him, but he doesn't die.
Oh, that's right. That's right. She stabs him.
He goes to a bar. He calls Mark. Mark goes to the bar. What does Mark do?
Dead.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. So Mark before that, Mark goes to the apartment himself and he goes to try to find Anna. And by then, Anna and her creature lover person thingy, whatever, has left. They have left the apartment. So he's like, okay, well, I'm going to still meet up with Heimlich. And
I like Heimlich better.
Heimlich. I'm going to meet up with Heinrich at the bar. And so he's looking for him. He's like, and Heinrich is like, "Nah, we need to talk in the bathroom." He's like, "For what?" And so, but he still goes to the bathroom with them. And then he basically sets him up and busts his head open with the back of the toilet. And then tries to make it look like a quote unquote accident.
Yeah, because then he drowns him in this dirty toilet water that he actually puked in, which is disgusting.
Right.
And then pours drugs on him to make it look like he overdosed.
He overdosed, yeah. So I'm not a detective and I'm not a police officer, but I know blunt force trauma when I see it.
Exactly.
So.
But we don't know anything about that. Don't worry about it. Dead.
Right, dead. And then Mark goes back to Anna's apartment and sets it on fire. Well, not just set it on fire. He blew it up.
Yeah.
Not knowing that there's probably other people living in this same building.
Oh, yeah. So, although we never see any other people in this building. So I have a feeling the building might be abandoned.
I think they said that in reading it, it said that it was in a dilapidated state. So nobody else was living there. It was just her and the creature. I mean, obviously the bathroom looked atrocious.
Yeah. Well, the whole apartment looked atrocious.
I mean, this is true. So he ends up stealing the motorbike, and then he discovers that Anna and her thing she has also killed Margie. She has also killed her best friend.
Yeah.
Because her best friend has also saw this thing that's with her. And so she comes back. This is what I'll say. Throughout the whole movie, Anna keeps coming back to the house. She keeps coming back to the house. She'll come back to the house, check on Bob, come back to the house, scream at Mark, come back to the house. Why is Margie here? You know, like, and so going forward, Mark and Anna kind of reconcile, but then she leaves again. Then he drives to Margie's place because she leaves again. And he goes to Margie's place, and then this is when the big scene happened. Yeah. And the thing has now evolved into what I can only tell you looks like a tadpole.
With a human head.
With a human head.
And
that's all I can tell you.
One arm, one tentacle, and then...
And the rest of it was a tail. Like a little tadpole tail. Like that was curled up. Which was so gross. But yeah, I thought it was weird that... Okay, so then he sees that, and then he leaves. And then he goes to Heinrich's house and tells Heinrich's mother, that Heinrich is dead. And then Heinrich's mother, this is another trigger warning, she overdoses on pills.
Right.
So now Mark is on the run. The police are after him because who believed that Heinrich overdosed? And somebody else saw you in the bathroom too. I don't know if you saw that part, but there was somebody in the bathroom when he did it. Yeah. And so... I thought this part was so funny when he held the gun up to the taxi cab driver's head and was like, "Ram that police car." And the taxi cab driver was like, "Say less." Like, wait, what?
You got it, pal.
Right. Like, all right, let's do it. And then he rams the police car. Mark tucks and rolls before the car is slammed in there. The car crashes. Taxi driver jumps out, takes off running. Cops come running out of the house, and Mark is running down the street, in the middle of the street, of all places, and gets shot not once, but 3 times in the back. Now, I don't know about you, but did you think he was dead at that point?
I thought maybe he might be soon.
Okay.
I did not, however, think that he would have the life left in him to shoot one of the cops, get on a motorcycle, and race the motorcycle to, I don't know what this other building is. Actually, I kind of do because of behind the scenes stuff. I know what this building is, but he just ended up at this other building. And then Anna finds him somehow, and she's got with her another Mark.
The other Mark. With brown eyes.
With brown eyes. I think they're supposed to be green. Because
so I think it was reversed for each one, because remember, Anna had brown eyes and her doppelganger had green eyes. And then Mark had like a lighter blue eye, and his doppelganger had brown eyes.
Well, I'd have to look again, but I think they were dark green. I think they're dark green because the creature, before it turned into doppelganger Mark, had green eyes. So I think that's like a sign of it being a doppelganger, because they kept mentioning it in behind the scenes as well about green eyes and stuff.
Okay.
So I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, there's this, oh my God, you're so much better at details than I am. Because they're up on these stairs. She comes up and he's about to shoot the doppelganger Mark, but then all of a sudden the cops are downstairs. They found them too, and they all shoot, and they shoot the hell out of Anna and Mark, but somehow miss doppelganger Mark.
How?
But then they kiss. Anna and Mark finally make up, and they kiss, but then she shoots both of them with a gun by pointing a gun into her back.
Yes.
As you do. And then doppelganger Mark goes away. He sees this woman, and I will explain who this woman is. And then he goes to Helen's house. Mark has left Bob with Helen. What is this? Tell me this scene.
Okay, so little Bob is sitting at the table. They hear a knock at the door. And Helen is like, go answer the door. And he's like, no, I don't want to.
He's telling her not to answer it.
Yeah, and then she's like, well, I'll answer it. And then he says, no, don't open the door. Don't do that. Don't open the door. He's just repeatedly saying, don't open the door. Don't open the door. Please don't open the door. Okay, so when you normally think of a little kid, you think of a little kid, they're going to run upstairs, go get in their bed and go and hide, right? Oh, no. No. Not little Bob. Little Bob runs up the stairs and there is a tub full of water. Little Bob decides that he's going to plant himself face down into the water, and he drowns.
Maybe.
We don't really know.
We just see him, like, he gets floating in the water, and he's upside down in it, and then the camera stays there for a long time, so props to the young actor. But
yes.
But then,
what's it called? We hear the sirens and the planes and the explosions and everything going on. And it sounds like an invasion is happening outside.
Yeah.
And then Helen turns around and looks directly into the camera. And all we see are her green eyes. And then Mark, the doppelganger Mark, is at the door. And all we see is his silhouette. Almost trying to get to her. And then they don't even fade the black. It just cuts to black. And that's the end of the movie.
Wow.
I think we did good we did good for a 2-hour movie.
Yeah. In a 3-minute recap, for sure. Yeah. So, the director, Andrzej Żuławski, he wrote this movie because he went through a really bad breakup.
Correct.
The interesting thing is that the commentary that I listened to is a film historian, but it was a woman. And she was Australian, and she was talking about the movie, a lot of it from Anna's point of view. Mm-hmm. So that was interesting to me because she came up with some some ideas that I wasn't sure if she was reaching or seeing them from a female point of view.
Yeah.
Because then when I rewatched the movie, I could see where everything kind of fell from Andrzej's point of view, Żuławski's point of view, the male point of view. So how did you feel about Anna? Did you feel any sympathy or anything for her? What did you feel for her?
I will say at first, I did feel sympathy for her because when you first start this movie, all you know is that she wants to leave her relationship. That's all we know. I mean, we're literally thrown into chaos from the beginning of the movie. So we just know that she wants to leave her relationship and that this man or her husband doesn't want to end the relationship, but she's desperately trying to end it. Then it started getting to the point where I won't say I was victim blaming her. And I get why she kept coming back because she was on that fence where she was like, oh, I got this thing that I'm dealing with, but I also kind of want to reconcile with my husband, but then he'll do something. And I'm like, nah, this is the reason why I don't want to be with you anymore. This is the reason why I'm choosing the tentacle thing over here. At first I did feel sorry for her, but then like the more it kept getting stressful and weird, like the scene when she came and she was talking about faith and chance, and then we got the flashback of that one scene. That's when I stopped. I was like, girl, just stay away. If it's causing you this much, if you're getting this much distress in your life from this man, just stay away. Don't tell him where you're going. Yes, the private investigator followed you, but you got rid of him. Don't go back. But again, I'm not victim blaming. She kept coming back because of Bob. And then it wasn't because of Bob anymore.
Yeah. There was a lot of talk in this commentary by this lady about sympathy for Anna because Anna wants so much to be left alone.
Right.
She wants everybody away from her, but yet these men keep coming back to her. Like when she goes to her other apartment, Heinrich and Mark, they both want to possess her. Mm-hmm. And so there was a lot of talk about the double meaning of the word possession. Every time she's sitting there in her apartment by herself trying to live her life, another man shows up in her apartment.
Right.
And just comes in like the first inspector. He just walks in and he says, no, I have to come in. I have to inspect your apartment. Right. And then his lover comes in. Heinrich just comes in. Mm-hmm. They just keep walking in. She doesn't invite them in. So I thought that was very interesting how somebody was able to see it from that point of view, Right.
And again, it goes back to what I was saying. Like I did feel sorry for her because she was just trying to get away. But now that you put it like that, like every time she tried to get away, a man would come back in her life. Now, it doesn't explain why she was doing things with this creature, but I get the whole like men coming into her life and she's just trying to live her life and be free.
Well, let's talk about the creature as a metaphor because I know both of us, we've both been through breakups. Mm-hmm. As I was watching the movie a second time, I was actually watching everything that Mark was doing from the point of view of myself and how I felt after a tumultuous breakup and the phases that you go through, sadness, anger, the feeling that you might have finally come to some peace with it, but then you haven't actually. So I started thinking about it from that point of view as well. And then when I saw, another thing that she mentioned in the commentary, which was very, very interesting to me, is with Helen, the doppelganger for Anna.
Yeah.
She mentioned how, first of all, when Helen comes in to help bathe Bob in the tub, Bob doesn't treat her as if she's Anna. Like, he's not like, oh, you look like mommy.
Yeah.
And also, when Heinrich comes to the apartment and Mark is trying to keep Heinrich out, he does see Helen walk by with Bob, but he doesn't react to her looking like Anna.
Right.
The way he's acting, if Anna had walked by, he would have been like, Anna, come to me,
Right. Yes, yes.
So this commentary person, I forget her name, I apologize. She mentioned how there's a theory that Helen didn't actually look like Anna, that we were seeing how Mark saw Helen.
Ah.
Because, again, one of the steps that you go through during a breakup is to try and replace the other person, to fill that void with somebody else.
Right.
So, obviously, Mark he still wants Anna. So he wants somebody to take Anna's place and be just like Anna, but without the craziness.
Right.
And that's what Helen ended up being. But then when Mark started to realize that Helen was not Anna, he started to push her away again. And
That's
then Helen's over here like, but wait, I like you.
Right. But wait, I thought
we just laid naked in bed.
Right. I think we did the thing, but I don't know if we did the thing.
Yeah, I don't know if they did it because she even says, you don't have to make love with me. And they just hug. So maybe they just hugged it out,
We'll go with that. We'll go with they just hugged.
Okay, so Mark replaces Anna with an actual person.
Yes. Anna replaces Mark with what?
With something that she has created herself. She wants to create her own ideal version of a man.
Okay.
So the whole thing in the tunnel, the famous scene where she's like losing her crap and throwing her milk on the wall.
And the eggs.
And then having, I guess this is another big trigger warning.
Yes.
She's basically looks like she's miscarrying.
Right.
One thing I didn't get the first time I saw the movie, did you get this, that was kind of a flashback?
Yes. I realized that she was telling the story of what happened. And that was her telling the story. Well, because she told the story of Faith and Chance twice.
Right.
So she told it in the recording, and then she elaborated on it more once she was sitting next to Mark.
Exactly. So I didn't totally get that. I was like, oh, suddenly she's at a church and now she's in a tunnel oozing fluids.
Right.
This is crazy.
Right.
There's a lot that I still don't grasp. That dialogue that you're talking about is supposed to be pretty darn important.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's got this blend of Faith and Chance, but then she miscarries Faith.
Yes.
And it becomes that creature somehow.
Yeah.
So all she's left with is Chance, but then she's trying to maybe regain Faith. But then when this creature evolves, guess who it looks like? It looks like Mark.
Yeah.
So she realizes maybe in the end that Mark is who she wants, but just a different version of Mark as well.
I think she wanted a Mark that was more present, because obviously the Mark that we see is a spy, and he just came back from a long mission. And so, I mean, and she literally was trying to explain that to him, like, you're always gone. Like, you're not here. I'm raising Bob alone. Basically, this is not fair to me.
I thought that was kind of interesting. Just the whole metaphor for replacing somebody else with somebody else. And then once they both realize that he's got Helen that looks like Anna and she's got this love creature that now looks like Mark, and then they kiss as they die together.
Yeah. And then she dies on the stairs and then he jumps.
Oh, yeah. He jumps for some reason.
Yeah.
Why does he jump?
No idea. You could have just laid on the stairs with your wife.
So that was
he
weird.
jumped.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another trigger warning.
Yeah.
It's a lot in this movie.
So then the end, that's got to be, so I tried to look at it also as a metaphor, because with Anna and Mark dead, we're left with Helen and doppelganger Mark.
Mm-hmm.
And sounds like a war going on outside the apartment, but is that just a representation of the chaos that both of them represent?
I would say yes, but it also, because of where this takes place, it does take place in Berlin. So it may be, that may have been the kickoff of the wall coming. I mean, eventually the wall coming down, right? Because it's during that time. I mean, when you're watching the movie, there's literally a wall and there's soldiers on the other side. I don't know if them soldiers knew that they was going to be a part of this movie, but there are soldiers on the other side of the wall. And
I'm gonna guess that they didn't.
I'm going to guess they didn't either. So,
but I kind of love that too, right?
Yeah, because I mean, the soldiers were like, it was strategically placed that this wall was the separation between East and West, Germany. I mean, Berlin, right?
Yeah, Berlin.
Berlin.
Right.
So in reality, it almost is, the wall is almost also a representation of the wall that Anna is trying to keep between her and her husband, because she wants to be free, but at the same time, like you said, she's created something in her mind. She's created the ideal man and made him reality. Where and like you said, maybe Helen didn't even look like Anna, and he just, in his mind, he made her look like Anna with green eyes.
Yep. This
movie is deeper than I thought.
Yeah, so they mentioned that a lot, the Berlin Wall.
Yes.
And the separation between Anna and Mark being symbolized by the Berlin Wall, being a separation between East and West Berlin. The thing with the guards, they actually said that the guards were watching them film all the time.
Oh.
So I think it's cool that in the movie, it almost looks like the guards are spying and watching Mark and Anna. And it's like, oh, what have they been seeing, Because
there were times that they had binoculars.
Yeah.
And they were watching. And so, again, y'all are unpaid actors.
Exactly. I mean, they're probably not around anymore, but who knows?
It's true.
All right, so I got to talk to you about two scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you knew nothing about the tentacle sex scene.
No.
Did you know about the tunnel scene?
Yes, I remember seeing that scene in a documentary. And I think it was like the 100 best horror film scenes ever. And I remember seeing that and being like, I don't want to watch that movie. I literally said that.
Did you watch In Search of Darkness?
I think that's what it was.
Okay, because I think that's where I saw it the first time.
I've seen In Search of Darkness, but I know I want to say for a fact that it was on the top 101 best horror scenes ever.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't want to watch that movie. That's crazy.
And then you accidentally watched it.
And then here we are.
So during that Body Bags episode,
yes,
I mentioned to you, I think we brought up Texas Chainsaw Massacre at one point, and I said that I can't play Texas Chainsaw Massacre at full volume in my apartment because the screams,
yes,
they just go on for so long that I worry about my neighbors. Well, I think I mentioned that there are a couple movies only that I've had to turn the volume down on. This is the other one. During that tunnel scene, it started out okay, but then after a moment, I was just like, these sounds are crazy coming from Isabelle Adjani. I got to turn this down.
Yes. So, little known fact about that scene.
Yeah.
They did it in 2 takes, and she got it right. It's Hollywood, so you do 2 takes just in case. And she got it right the first time. And most of the stuff the scene that we see is from the first take. I can imagine. I could never.
Did you read or hear what direction Żuławski told her for that scene? He basically told her that he wanted her to F the air. Act like she was doing it with the air.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. Because
I'm keeping it wholesome here.
it is fun with horror. So that scene goes on longer than it should, but it's terrifying.
It's brilliant.
Yes.
It is an amazing scene, and I mean, everybody talks about it, but Isabelle Adjani is unbelievable in this movie.
Yes.
They both are. How did you feel about the acting, though?
I will say this. There were, like, when they were screaming at each other and how she was, she kept throwing her hair around and throwing her arms and things like that. It almost was like a character. Am I saying this right? Oh, my God.
Caricature. Caricature.
Of
Yeah.
a caricature. See, we'll
We're
get
both-
it. Whatever.
Yeah. We'll get it together.
We'll fix it in post.
Caricature. There you go.
There we go. Of like, you remember that the comic strip with a dude that would go out drinking and then he would come home and he would argue with his wife?
Oh my God. I hated that comic strip so much.
Me too. And because they always fought. That's exactly what that reminded me of.
I just looked it up. Andy Cap was that comic strip.
There's
you know
hot
what?
fries
That's
named
I
after
love that
him.
you brought that up. There's hot fries named after him.
Yeah, it's like Cap hot fries or something like that. I used to eat them. They're not great. They're not as good as the Chester Cheater ones. But anyway, yes, that's what these two reminded me of, because like they would be yelling and they'd be all over the top, and then the scene inside of the restaurant.
Oh yeah.
She sits facing one way, he sits facing the other way. Now, mind you, they are in public and they are talking really extra loud. And then he goes into a fit of rage and starts running after her in the restaurant, throwing chairs, knocking over tables. Sir, do you realize that you're in public? This ain't your house. And he gets to the point where the staff has to run out of the kitchen to restrain him while
Yeah.
she is sitting in the corner. I was like, how is this man not in jail?
There's a lot of men that should be in jail.
Right. Don't get me started on Heinrich and his old touchy-feely behind either.
I kind of loved Heinrich. He cracked me up.
He was so touchy-feely.
He had no concept of personal space.
Zero. Especially when Mark came to visit him.
Yeah.
He was all in Mark's space. I said, let me find out Heinrich.
And then when he goes to visit Mark and like after, like he's drunk, he's obviously high or drunk.
Right.
But then when they're in the hallway after he comes back up the stairs and they're just doing this circle around each other.
Yeah.
I kind of loved it.
And this is why I say it is an art house horror movie, because you won't get all of the movements that are happening in this movie. Everybody in this movie is moving as if they are dancing to music that doesn't exist. Like when Heinrich like throws his hands up and he's just doing the thing, doing the waving arm thing with him. Mark did it at one point, and we know Anna did it because she did it throughout the whole movie. It's just one of those things you're like, wait, why is he just randomly dancing all of a sudden now?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't get it. But again, to me, this is totally the definition of an art house film. It just feels like a bunch of movies put together and you just need to figure out what's happening.
I will say that the first time I watched this movie, I mean, I thought they were good actors. I thought they were doing a great job, but I didn't love the direction they were given and how over the top every scene was, how they were really yelling, and how Isabelle Adjani at times was like acting like she was possessed.
Yes.
But after listening to some commentaries and what the movie was about, and then watching it again with subtitles, I started to appreciate it more because I realized that exactly like you said, it is a caricature of a breakup, and it's supposed to be an exaggerated form of breaking up, of what people go through when they break up. And that's kind of the point. The point is that they are overacting and they're doing a huge over-exaggeration of everything. I kind of dug it the second time.
That's the best way to explain it. That is the best way to explain it. This is an over-exaggerated ideal of how breakups are.
Yeah.
And especially when you're married. I mean, I've never been married before, so I wouldn't know. But most breakups are not like how Anna and Mark were breaking up.
No, but people that break up, if it's a heavy breakup, they go through the same steps that Anna and Mark went through, but just dialed down, to like 4 or 3 instead of like up at 11 where Anna and Mark were. So
over the top. But I understood Mark's grief. I understood where Mark was coming from as far as like being left and not understanding why.
Yeah.
And then when he did find out that there was another person involved, the first person he called was her best friend, because who else is going to have that information?
Exactly.
And so I get it, the whole idea of breaking, and again, the woman commentator seeing it through Anna's eyes. If I gave this a second time watch, I would watch it through her eyes. But because I was so heavily invested in Mark, because I'm like, this lady is leaving you. And, of course, he goes through his stages of grief. At one point, he lays hands on her, because he's so angry.
Sam Neill did not want to do that scene. Did you hear about that?
I can see why.
He begged Żuławski not to make him do that scene. He took him aside and he was like, please don't make me do this. Please don't make me do this. I don't want to do this scene. Good man, Sam Neill,
Yes, very good man.
Isabelle Adjani came over to him and she was like, Sam, you must do this scene. Because it was for the art. It was for the movie.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other conversation, because I don't know if you've heard things I've heard. They kind of skirted past it. Again, this historian, she never really outright said it, but she did mention that Żuławski was known to do whatever it took to get performances out of his actors.
So I did read that. And I actually read where Sam Neill said that this movie was the most extreme film that he'd ever done. And if he was ever asked to do a movie like Possession again, he would not.
But at the same time, he also thinks of the movie as a masterpiece.
Yes.
Which is crazy, because he actually used the word abuse as to how they were treated, especially Isabelle Adjani.
Yes.
By Żuławski. But it gets into that whole conversation about how far are directors allowed to go to get a performance out of their actors.
I think it's because this director, it also was the 80s. You could get a lot. You could get away with a lot during that time. And so a lot has changed since the 80s. You cannot and you will not do the things that were done in this movie.
Well, you say that, but I still do hear stories of certain directors that are a little bit more abusive with their actors, like they yell at them and stuff, and they're more confrontational with their actors to try and get performances out of them. So I can't remember who I heard this about, so I'm not going to name names, but and again, also this was a foreign film basically. Right. Even though it was in English, this is the only English movie that Żuławski ever did, or English speaking movie.
That's interesting.
It is interesting. But I also have to mention, this was crazy. Andrew and I always talk about different coincidences that happen around episodes that we do. Mm-hmm. And most of it is that we'll do an episode and right as it's about to air or right when we're recording it, it'll be like, oh, it's the anniversary of the release of this movie. And we'll be like, what?
Right.
But unfortunately, on the Sunday that I sat down to watch this movie, I watched about half of it. And then that night, we got the awful news that Sam Neill passed away.
Yeah.
So that was sad.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I realized who was in this movie, it was like, because I was going to like, once I realized what movie it was, I was like, this ain't the movie I wanted. And I was going to change it. But then I realized who was in it. And I was like, we must do this movie. We must.
Yeah, because I think I even messaged you and said, isn't it crazy that we're doing this movie and Sam Neill just passed away?
Yes. Yep.
Is that when you realized which movie we were doing?
Yes. Because I was like, wait, Sam Neill isn't in that movie. Oh, I chose the wrong movie. But we're doing it. We're doing this movie because I love Sam Neill.
Yeah. And he was incredible. And one story that I love, I've heard this with different actors too, but Żuławski said one day he saw Sam Neill's script, his working script. A lot of different pages were highlighted in different colors. Mm-hmm. And he said, Sam, what did the colors mean? And Sam said, oh, the colors are color-coded to show how insane I am at that moment, what state of hysteria I'm in. And he was talking about it during the scene where Sam is in the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been there for like 3 weeks. And he's having like a nervous breakdown in the bed.
Yeah. Which
That
that
was-
did not look like him at all.
No.
Which was scary.
It was so good, though. Like, just another amazing scene.
Yes. Oh, and I will say the scene when he finally does come home and Bob is sitting on the floor with the jam all over his face. That happened in real life to the director.
Oh, really?
Yes. His wife had left their son at home. And when he came home, his son was sitting on the floor covered in jam.
Wow.
So he took that scene, or he took that real life experience and put it in the movie.
That's amazing. I did not listen to the director's commentary yet. There's actually 3 commentaries on my Blu-ray.
Oh,
There's
nice.
the historian, there's the director, and then I forget who else. I think the writer. But that brings me to Bob. How did you feel about Bob? What did Bob make you feel? Because you are a parent.
I am.
So
I honestly felt sorry for Bob, but at the same time, Bob didn't, to me, he didn't react the way that a child normally reacts to their parents splitting up, or even how his parents were arguing in front of him. It was almost as if he was kind of used to it. But then also when Bob started having night terrors, I kind of associated with like he already knew what was getting ready to happen. And that's why when we get to the end, he's like, don't open the door, don't open the door, don't open the door. Because he's like, that person that's getting ready to come through the door is not my daddy.
Yeah.
I honestly, watching him, he was so nonchalant about everything. His parents are like going at it. Your mom just cut her throat with an electrical knife. And he's just in his room playing with his toys.
again, possession. Another meaning of the word is that we don't really see them as parents to Bob through the movie.
True.
We see Bob as a possession of theirs.
Okay.
And they understand that they have to take care of him, but they just ignore him when it comes to their breakup.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you say that Bob is very nonchalant, but I think Bob is nonchalant in the presence of his parents, but then he shows how badly it's affecting him in other ways. Like he does wake up one night and he has wet his bed.
Yeah.
So he's wetting his bed at night. He's waking up screaming even at school.
Yeah, night
Like Helen.
terrors.
Yeah, but I think during the day as well, because Helen mentions that he was waking up at school. So
Yeah. I mean, he's probably not sleeping at home.
yeah. So Bob is just there and he is being affected, but we don't see it as much, but we just get signs of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob kind of broke my heart, but at the same time, I'm not a parent, so I didn't have that empathy that you might have for a kid in a movie, you know?
Yeah, I thought the ending was sad. I was like,
Yeah, like was he
why?
was he drowning himself or was he just hiding in the water?
Because throughout the whole movie, we watch him do the thing where he goes under the water and he holds his breath for a very long time, or
Yes.
what he thinks is a very long time. And so, yes, while I think you're right. I think in the end, he jumped into the water to hold his breath for a very long time so that whatever was outside wouldn't be able to, quote unquote, see him.
So what if the metaphor is that through all of this crap that Anna and Mark are putting each other through, they're not paying enough attention to Bob, who is drowning. And the end is kind of an in-your-face representation of how their theatrics and how their breakup they've basically ignored Bob, and he is now face down in the water.
Yeah, drowning.
So,
Oh, this movie is deeper than what we thought.
yeah, I mean, I
But I guess I
really-
got to listen. I mean, you got to listen to the commentary and hear the behind the scenes behind it.
the commentary, honestly, it got me partway there.
Okay.
I really Like when I watched this movie a second time, it took me 2 viewings. I watched half of it one day and half of it the other. And I put my phone down except for to take notes. And I focused on things. And I was like, what does this mean? Why are they doing that? Like the whole faith and chance monologue that she does, I sat there and listened to it. And I'm like, what does this mean?
Right.
You know, I didn't want to particularly go read what other people thought it meant because all I could find online is other theories. I wanted to try and decide what it meant to me. So everything that I'm telling you is like how I took it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily how other people did. So,
I mean, but it makes sense.
It does make sense to me and now to you. Oh, here's a scene that I wasn't sure if I could figure out. In the video or the film that Heinrich had taken of Anna, there is a scene where she's teaching a ballet class.
Yes.
She's picking on one student and causing that student a lot of pain. And as she's doing it, she keeps looking straight at the camera.
Yeah.
What do you think that means?
Honestly, so to me, like Anna was testing this girl's willpower, but at the same time, and again, we don't know what happened before this ballet class. It could have been just one of those things where this girl was a mean girl and Anna was like, I'm going to teach you a lesson.
True.
Or it was one of those things where Anna was trying to be the one in control. Even though she's already a teacher, she was trying to take possession over this girl.
Yes. See that you got me there. I was almost there, and what you said just got me there. She does not have control in her personal life. Yes. Heinrich wants to possess her. Mark wants to possess her. So now she's going to exert her frustrations on this poor girl.
Yes.
Because that's the only thing she can control is this girl who then gets mad because Anna plays favorites and doesn't do the same thing to the girl in front of her. And the little ballerina runs out.
Right. She got frustrated and was just like, but again, that's what Anna could control, right? I can control my class. I can make you hold this pose. And I don't care about anybody else. I want you to hold this pose because I have no control over my life, but you're going to hold this pose. Like she was like right here in her ear, like, you got this. Like basically telling her like, you better not. And the girl did it. And then, finally she ended up collapsing. But I think that was Anna trying to regain some type of control over her life by controlling somebody else at the same time.
Exactly.
Man, this movie's
Did
deep.
you notice one thing Żuławski tried to do as a director? He tried to film a lot of the scenes in small spaces, like the kitchen, the bathroom, the hallway outside. He put these actors together in a very small space, and it was to help the audience feel claustrophobic.
Yeah, I did feel claustrophobic.
Did you kind of catch that they were small spaces, or was it kind of a subconscious thing?
No, I did like every scene especially in the kitchen when she was like, excuse me. And like, that frustrated me. Like, if you don't move out the way, like I felt her pain in that minute because I'm very much, if we are in a small space, get out of my way.
I did love that scene because I love her primal scream at the end of that.
Yeah.
At the end of her saying, no, get away from me, blah. And then she just screams.
Yes. I didn't pick up that every space was a small space. I just remembered the kitchen scene and she just being like, excuse me. And it never was a nice excuse me. It was an angry excuse me from the beginning. It was, excuse me. And then every time he was in her way, her excuse me would get louder and louder. And then she finally just, she just gave up.
He was a very suffocating person for sure.
Yes. I want to ask you this. The scene after she cuts herself.
Yes.
Why did he cut himself?
I was going to bring up this scene next. You're awesome. Good job.
Why did he do that?
I think it's honestly, I saw it as a petty thing. And it actually kind of made me laugh a little bit because she does it, and she does it because she's desperate to feel something. That's what somebody else actually said, and it makes sense to me.
Okay.
She's desperate to feel anything because at that point you see her like grinding the meat and she's just going through the motions and she looks numb.
Right.
And she's just so frustrated that she finally just takes it to her neck to feel something. He takes her into the bathroom and he's like, "Oh, I'll take care of you, blah, blah, blah," you know? But then he cuts his own arm with the electric knife, the electric carver or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And partly I felt like somebody said he wanted to feel what she felt. And I'm like, I think he wanted to pull the attention back to himself. Partly maybe he wanted to see what it felt like because then she does say it doesn't feel like anything at all. You know, like you don't feel anything. So I think partly he wanted to feel, but then it just felt like this petty thing. Like, now I want you to give me the same attention I just gave you. So I'm going to cut myself. But she basically ignores him, which kind of made me laugh a little bit. I'm like, haha, she just ignored you. She doesn't care.
Right. And editor mistake, because for the rest of the movie, he didn't have like a bandage or anything on his on-set arm. So
that's not true. That's not true. He didn't have a bandage, but there are scenes where you see scars on his arm, like cuts on his arm.
I didn't see the scars. Maybe
I don't know if it's in every single scene, but I did see it. I think it might be in the hallway with Heinrich, where I was like, "Oh, nice continuity right there."
Yeah, there was one part where I looked and I was like, where's his bandage or his scars? And I can't remember what scene it was, but I know I saw it and I was like, editor mistake. It's fine, but we'll let it go. But
I'm sure they forgot at times, but then when they did remember, I thought it was kind of nice that they remembered.
What I got from that scene was that when she cut herself, I agree. She was just trying to feel something. Or she was just trying to take herself off the timeline because she was done. But he just so happened to stop her before she went all the way. Right. But
she didn't go like right for the jugular. She went on the side of her neck. So I do think it was just like, I didn't think she wanted to kill herself because she still has this creature. Oh, well, who knows if she's given.
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah, we don't know about the creature just yet.
Yeah, we don't know if she's miscarried the creature just yet. So.
Right. So
I don't know. I just didn't get that feeling that she was actually trying to kill herself.
Yeah, I thought she was, but then like when he was treating her and then he asked her like, how did it feel? And she was like, I don't know, nothing. I felt nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. And now that you're saying it, it makes sense why he would start cutting at his arm, because he wanted to feel what she felt. He wanted to feel nothing because he still cared about her. He still wanted to be with her. He still wanted her in his life. And so if you feel nothing, I want to feel nothing. So let me go ahead and cut my arm so that I feel what you feel. Because the very next day, who does he meet? Helen.
That's really good, and I like it better than my interpretation.
Yeah.
My interpretation was just coming from a men are stupid point of view. So.
Oh no. Most of the time when we've both been through a breakup before.
Yeah.
When that person feels numb and they just don't want to be with you anymore and they're like numb, you want to feel the same. You want to feel what they feel. You want to be able to take your feelings and be like, you know what? I don't care either. I think that's what that meant, is that because she felt nothing when she cut her neck, he wanted to feel the same. He wanted to see if he felt the same. So he cut his arm and you see he didn't react. So in that case, he's like, well, I guess I feel the same way she does. I don't feel anything anymore. And then
that is literally brilliant. My cat's about to jump on my computer. What are you doing, Bowie?
No.
Hi, Bowie. Okay, well, say hi to Bowie.
Hi, Bowie.
Hi, sweet. Bye-bye. That's brilliant, because as much as I did think about the different stages that I've been through in a breakup, that is actually one stage that didn't cross my mind, but it's absolutely accurate. And I'm sure men and women both feel it during a breakup when the other person, like you said, is numb or seems to be dealing with it better. yeah, the other person, they're in so much pain that they just want to feel nothing as well. So
Right.
that's brilliant. Brilliant, Meka.
I think.
What'd you think about her getting on the subway while the detective was chasing her and sitting next to the vagrant guy who just politely takes a banana and eats it? I love that scene.
I thought the detective was horrible. I was like, if you're a private investigator, number one, why are you following so close? And then you're like so Captain Obvious. Like,
Yeah.
like so Captain Obvious. You're running at one point. Like, I would have turned around like, sir, please stop following me.
That is one interesting aspect of this movie that we don't think about too much, is that there is some interesting comedy in the movie.
Yes.
That whole scene is comedy because, yeah, he's definitely being way too obvious.
Right.
And then, yeah, she sits on this seat in an empty train and just sits right next to the homeless guy. And then the homeless guy just like he just looks in her bag and he's like, hey, but instead of like taking everything, he just takes one banana and just starts eating it. And she just looks at him and they're like polite.
I thought that part was funny because I was just like, so you just gonna let him take your food like that? You just gonna do that? Well, okay, whatever.
Another thing that made me laugh was the detective when he goes by the doorway to the apartment complex that she's in or whatever. And I think she sees him or whatever. And he's out of breath. And then out of nowhere, he just kicks this mannequin head. Like there's a mannequin head on the ground. He kicks it. And I'm like, what? What is that? It's a mannequin head.
Art house.
And then the other thing was Margie, the best friend.
Air quote that, best friend.
Yeah.
Because Margie was a whole garden tool. You know what garden tool I'm talking about.
Do you think so? Or
yes,
because one thing
because
I
the way
loved
she was throwing herself at Mark.
I think Mark and Margie hated each other. And with that hate of each other, there was a certain affection because they both understood that, hey, I hate you and I hate you too. I don't think she really threw herself at him. More so she just like kind of laid her head in his lap because she's going through stuff too. So
I want to say that maybe Margie was, she took his she took his sweater off. Let me take your sweater off of you. You know what I'm saying? It almost felt like she wanted to go, nanny boo boo. I know where your wife is at.
Yes.
And you don't. But while I'm here, let me act like I'm taking care of you.
Even though I hate you.
Even though I hate you. She's like, Marjorie's here to make everything better.
And she's flaunting it. Like,
right.
She cracked me up.
With her boot.
Yeah, her cast and everything. Yeah. So, yeah, that made me laugh and smile. So, and then Heinrich's whole thing. Oh, that's the other thing we haven't talked about. The whole Heinrich thing and the death and all that. So I thought it was kind of fun because Mark goes to her apartment and he finds the dead bodies.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, instead of like being horrified, he's like, I can help her. Like, I see what she's doing. I am going to help her. And that's how I'm going to get her back. So he helps her hide the bodies.
Yes.
So that's why he blew up the apartment.
Right. That's
why he killed Heinrich and made Heinrich look like a suicide with a blunt force trauma in the head.
We're not cops.
In Mark's mind, he's helping her. He's helping her bury the rest of the bodies so
she'll come home.
Yeah. And she did, in a way.
In a way.
In a way. And then she killed Margie and he even helped her hide that body.
And did. And then Margie's body flew out the trunk.
Flew out the trunk. That was so good. I was like, oh, there you go.
She rolled across the road and I was like, there go Marjorie. There she is.
There goes any doubt that they had.
Right. If you thought you wasn't going to jail, you definitely going to jail now.
And so that was the interesting scene too. Then when he goes over to Margie's place and Anna is having sex with the creature,
And then he's
Instead of
just
being
standing there.
he's kind of fascinated by it, and then he even smiles, and it's like interesting.
Right. And then she speaks to him. Like she's speaking to him while all this is happening. And it's just, but she's just repeating the same word over and over again, which was almost.
Right.
And she just kept repeating that over and over again. And he was just standing there like, what am I supposed to do with this? And then it's almost like he was in shock. And
Right.
And he didn't know how to respond in that moment. Like, how do I handle this? I thought it was a man this whole time. That's probably what he was thinking. Like, I thought it was a dude because she did tell him that it was, she did tell him that it was someone else. And he was like, oh, so you're just out here. He was like, you are just out here being a hoe? And she was like, yes, I am. I don't care. Leave me alone. And he was just like, I can't leave you alone. This movie is deep.
So what I'll say about that scene, and again, it's just something I just thought of when you were talking about it. Almost. So to Anna, it's kind of obvious. Almost means that she's almost done creating this thing, this person.
Right. This new person.
But maybe to Mark, when she said almost, he heard her and he said, oh, she's saying, I'm almost ready to come back to you.
Which would be Mark's delusion.
Yes, but we are delusional. We are very delusional when it comes to wanting somebody back who we've lost.
This is true.
You know, I mean, that's where I put myself in Mark's shoes, you know, and I've been there. You are delusional. There's so many delusions you feed yourself, and every little thing, it's like that taking a hint that's not really there. Yeah. And being like, oh, means we're going to get back together. Here we go. Right. You know?
And you don't.
Well, they kind of did, but they just died together. They had to die to be together. So,
I mean, whatever works.
Whatever works.
Whatever works.
The last question I have for you, nobody mentioned this word, but did you get Giallo kind of vibes from this movie at all? I mean, do you like Giallo movies?
Not really. Again, from my perspective, it came off more art house vibes than anything, because it was just, especially with the scenes and the scenery and the acting, the over the topness, it was just like, okay, this is where we are. And then this creature showed up and I was like,
so there were two things that just gave me Giallo vibes with this movie. Not really the movie itself, but the music, first of all, and then the blood. When she killed the detective with the bottle, like, it was bright red, splashy blood, and that's very Giallo.
Yeah. And also when she stabbed Heinrich as well too.
Yes, exactly.
It was a lot. For a shoulder stab. It was a lot of blood for that. And then also when Mark got shot in the back, there was a lot of blood flowing from his back as well too, and it was bright red. Except for Heinrich's was like a darker red, but
but there was still like there was a lot of it. Yeah,
it was a lot, and I thought that was a little bit over the top as well too, as far as like how much blood came out from a stab wound to the shoulder.
So, what did you think of the music? Did it make an impression on you?
I think it moved the story along. You know, it came in, especially during the scene when she was in the subway or in the tunnel, and you know, she's doing the thing and things happen.
Things happen.
Oh, things happen. But I thought the music was very fit for this movie.
So the composer is another person named Andrzej, and it's spelled exactly like Andrzej Żuławski's name, but his last name is Korzinski. So he's Polish as well.
Okay.
I thought the music was serviceable. It just struck me as very Giallo-like. It reminded me of like the music you would hear in a Argento movie, Goblin or what have you. Yeah. I thought it was cool. It's not one that I would rush out and get on vinyl or anything, but
right.
You know, But I thought it was cool. I just wanted to see if you thought anything of it. Before we get to 3 questions, I've got a couple of behind the scenes things.
Mm-hmm.
And then do you have any other notes that you wanted to talk about?
There was one. Oh, yes.
Hit me. Not physically, but, not in a possession kind of way.
Of course, never. So when this movie first was released in 1981, it actually ended up on the video nasties list in the UK.
Yes.
and because the UK obviously has different screening ideals when it comes to movies like this, they were cracking down on movies, and so this movie ended up on the video nasties list and was banned for quite a while. When the American screening came out, it was heavily edited to an 81-minute cut. And so it lost more than a third of its runtime.
81 minutes?
It cut it down to 81 minutes.
I want to see that one.
So, yeah.
Oh, man.
And the distributor at the time turned Possession into a creature-based horror film and eliminated all the psychological horror aspects and the main theme of marriage breakdown. That's in that cut.
See, now I joke and I say I want to see that cut, but I don't know if the movie needed to be 2 hours, but I don't think it needs to be 1 hour and 21 minutes. I think it should be longer than that. Like maybe cut out like 15 minutes. Right. That's all I'm saying.
There's certain scenes that need to be cut in half,
Funny enough, that historian, and I just looked up her name so that I don't just keep referring to her as that commentary person. Her name is Sally Christie.
Okay.
So there you go. Sally Christie, if you're out there, thank you.
We appreciate you.
She said that she originally watched the movie because it was on the Video Nasties list, and she was curious. She was like, oh, what's this?
I don't think people understand that if you're going to put something on a ban list, people are going to go look for it.
Well, yeah, but they did make it hard. Like back in the 80s, it was hard to get to those movies,
Right, yeah.
So the other thing, and you might already know this, but did you know that when it came to the creature design, they originally asked H.R. Giger, the man who designed Alien and all of that, they originally asked him to do the creature, but he was too busy. So they ended up with Carlo Rambaldi, who, of all movies, worked on E.T. He did the design of E.T., and then he did this.
That's why I kind of look like E.T.
I thought the creature looked amazing. I mean, the eyes were a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But I did think it was very well done, especially for a 1981 movie.
And that's what I said.
Yeah.
I give it up to the special effects, because the special effects of the creature, especially the one part when he stood up and his face had that little like I'm not going to say an almond shape. It was
like a concave kind of thing.
Yeah. And his eyes were like on the sides.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's creepy. Leave the room. And then dead.
Then things happened. Yeah.
Yes.
But we just came full circle, because that was like literally, I think, one of the first things you said at the beginning is that the special effects you really liked. So
I love the special effects in this one.
So that means, are you ready for 3 questions?
I am. I love this part.
Okay. Well, you get to go first.
Who would cross the bridge of death must answer me these questions 3.
Question number 1, what did you think, or who do you think was the best kill or death in this movie?
I would have to say the best kill in this movie was probably Anna and Mark's death.
Ooh, good one.
Because it gave Romeo and Juliet vibes.
Yeah.
Like in the end, they're both dying. I mean, he eventually jumps, but let's just leave that off. Let's just pretend he doesn't jump, okay? Let's pretend he doesn't jump. Let's ignore that part. They're on the stairs. They're next to each other. They realize he realizes that he's about to die. She realizes that she's about to die because she's been shot multiple times. And so to tragically end both of them at the same time, she shoots herself through the back ultimately going through her and then I guess into him. And then she lays down next to him and they share that one last kiss. And then he jumps. And then I wish I would just left him on the stairs.
Look at you. Meka G, you're romantic.
I am.
So I'm going to go with a different one, but mine is kind of based on some behind the scenes information.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Heinrich.
Okay.
And it's because Heinrich is based on a real guy, you know. Żuławski's partner, wife, I can't remember if it was wife or girlfriend, but
I think it's wife.
You think it was wife?
Yes. Hold on.
It probably was, since Mark and Anna are married.
Yes.
Anyway, so Heinrich was based on this guy that his wife cheated with. And of course, Żuławski hated this guy, so he made Heinrich pretty much just an idiot. And he actually said, even though Heinrich is a smart person, he's an intelligent person, he's a stupid man. And he also gave Heinrich the most humiliating death of all, just being drowned in a toilet full of puke.
Nasty.
So, yeah. So I'm going to go with Heinrich for that one.
Okay. I'll give you that one.
Question number 2.
Yes.
Did you think this movie was scary?
No, it was not scary. Not at all. Even with the creature reveal, yes, did my jaw drop? What is that? But there's no elements in this movie that would give you like the heebie-jeebies or make you feel like, oh, I gotta sleep with all the lights on tonight. Or it's hard to put this movie into a bottle. It's hard to give it a genre or subgenre of horror that it could be. And that's why I keep saying art house horror, because art house it's different than any type of horror that you would ever, you can't label it psychological horror. You can, but the whole thing isn't psychological, or you can label it whatever. But in the end, no. Was this movie scary? No, it was. I wasn't scared of this.
Well, I agree with you. I think this movie was frustrating at times, and I think it was heavy, maybe a little difficult to get through at times because of just the constant fighting between Mark and Anna.
Yes.
But honestly, I feel like Żuławski almost didn't even set out to make a horror movie. He was making a drama about divorce and about a breakup. And then he threw in a monster.
Yeah.
He threw in just some horror elements, but I don't think he would actually consider this movie a horror movie. So
I don't think he would consider it a horror movie either.
But that leads us to our third and last question. Meka, did you have fun with horror?
Ooh, this one's going to be difficult, but I'm going to say not with this one.
Yeah.
I didn't have fun with this one because, like you said, the subject matter of this movie is heavy. It's dealing with breakups. It's dealing with how people handle a breakup in a very exaggerated way. And then, like you said, they just threw a creature in there and was like, here's a monster. And you're just like, wait, where did this come from?
And you really have to dig deep to figure out what that monster means.
Right.
It can't just be this surface level, hey, this is a monster in this movie. It's a tentacle monster that's having sex with this woman and then turning into a doppelganger. There's got to be some kind of deep meaning. And
right.
Yeah. So I'm totally with you. I don't think this is a fun movie. There's a couple parts where I kind of smile at now that I look at them differently. But as far as the whole movie goes, no, it's kind of a difficult movie to get through.
It is very difficult to get through.
So as much fun as I'm having talking to you about it,
yes.
Of course, that's not the point of the question. This is not a fun movie. So if you're out there and you haven't seen this movie and you're wondering, hey, is this movie going to be a fun watch? No.
It's not.
No, it's not.
Not at all.
We're smiling, but Meka and I are both depressed right now. Very depressed.
So sad. This movie is really now that we've sat here and talked about it and talked it out and talked about all the hidden meanings in this movie. This movie is not it's actually labeled as a psychological horror drama. That's what it's labeled as.
I feel like you and I just took each other to therapy.
You know what? Yes.
Possession.
Gotta love it.
I'm at war against women. They have no foresight. There's nothing about them that is stable. There's nothing to trust. They're dangerous.
There is nothing in common among women except menstruation. Excuse me. I come from a place where evil seems easier to pinpoint because you can see it in the flesh.
So, Meka, that brings us to the end. You are Meka G
Always.
of Cinematic Nightmares.
The best podcast out there.
So, tell everybody where they can find you and what you have going on with Cinematic Nightmares.
Okay. Yes, as Scotty has so eloquently put it, I am Meka G. I am the host and creator of Cinematic Nightmares. You can find me on YouTube at Cinematic Nightmares Podcast. You can also find me on Instagram under the same handle, Cinematic Nightmares Podcast. And we have a lot of things coming up on Cinematic Nightmares, as I stated before. Looking forward to doing Raised by Nightmares, looking forward to Nightmares Untold. Still having, people come on and discuss their favorite horror movies. I am definitely looking forward to doing Exploring the Shadows every single month. Love talking to panels, love having guests come on and talk about movies, because when you talk with other people, you get different perspectives of a movie, and then it makes you rethink the movie that you thought you knew. Love it. Every part of it. Yeah, make sure you come and follow me. Come hang out with us in the void and just, come chill with me.
And I promise the next panel I'm on, I'll try to talk more.
I also, you already know, I respect your wishes.
Try being the key word.
Right.
When you're dealing with bigger personalities than me, I just kind of stay quiet and let those personalities shine, because I got to say that was one of the best things about it, though. I told you this privately, but yes, one of the best things was meeting all of the people that were on the panel, because they were all amazing people. So thank you for that.
Loved everybody that was on the panel, of course. Loved having you on as well too. Even you didn't have to talk. It was just you were just taking everything in, and I respect that.
Meka, Andrew, and I love you.
I love you and Andrew too, as well, Scotty.
Andrew does. He tells me these things. He's like, I love this person. I love this person. So I speak for Andrew. So
send my love to Andrew and the baby and his family. Love it here.
I definitely will. And thank you so much again for being on Fun with Horror again. This was so much fun.
I had a blast.
Awesome. Okay. I will talk to you later, Meka.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Okay. We want to once again thank Meka G from Cinematic Nightmares Podcast for coming on and joining me in that wonderful discussion of possession. Coming up next on Fun with Horror, I will be joined by Sam and Brian from the Students of Horror podcast. And we are going to be discussing the found footage movie Deadstream. So in 2 weeks, join us for that. But before I go, I would like to take the time to read some comments that we've gotten. And these are all on Spotify. Looks like we've got 3. The first one is from our friend Heather. Now, Heather, I really don't know what this means, but she commented on the Exit 8 episode, and she said, I thought I hit send. So, Heather, you're going to have to remind me what this means, because I'm not sure what you meant, unless you just sent a heart or something like that. So, thank you, though. And, we love you. And then we have a couple from Yuli. Yuli commented on the Exit 8 episode first, and Yuli said, to be honest, this movie kind of bored me. LOL. Happy birthday, Scotty. Sorry for saying it too late. Wish you all the best. Yuli, thank you. And yeah, I can totally see why somebody would be bored with Exit 8. But yeah, Andrew and I both really enjoyed it. Thank you for the comment. And for this next comment on our Hatchet episode, Yuli said, I've watched all Hatchet movies. Typical slasher movie, but it's kind of so bad, it's good. And congrats to Andrew for the newborn. And I also want to take this moment to let you all know that Andrew, even though he is on a break, I share these comments with him, so he sees all of these comments as well. So if you have anything for Andrew, please let him know. Thank you so much, Yuli. And yes, go back, listen to our last episode with Colby Does Horror on Hatchet, the first Hatchet movie. So thank you, everybody. We'll be back in 2 weeks with Deadstream. Thank you for listening to Fun with Horror. Andrew and I both love you all. Goodbye and have a great couple of weeks.
I've come for Anna.
Anna's not here.
You want me to break down the bloody door?
You don't have to. It's open.